I'm originally from New York. I love it. It is home. But Pittsburgh feels like the place where I need to be and where I want to be. Where I can grow in so many ways, where I can contribute in so many ways. Things that has not been done here before, that is necessary, that needs to be done. But it is evident that there's a certain group of people that don't want a certain group of people to prosper. Then what do you want? Do you want us to be like dogs and grovel at your table? Move away, move out the way. We're not begging you for anything. Just move out the way and allow us to be and to prosper. That's all we're asking. We're not begging for anything.
Back in 2006, I was working with Jordan Monahan on a mural for East Liberty. It was called Lend Me Your Ears. And that mural was the biggest mural in the city at the time. It featured residents from the neighborhood. There was 3 children on bikes. There was a child blowing bubbles. The boys on the bikes were really important because they were actually kids who were riding their bikes throughout their neighborhood. They had on superhero colors. They were wearing red, yellow, and blue. This is all based on Jordan's design. And they were kids that were in the neighborhood. So they were African-American kids. They were riding their bikes. This was their neighborhood. So when that mural went up, it was tremendous. It was like a landmark for the area. So since then, buildings have changed hands. We had new tenants, and Duolingo moved in. At that point, before it was changed hands, basically the painting was painted over gray. And it was a real sore spot for a lot of people, particularly people who live and work in that area who saw themselves represented on the wall. That was a big deal to see something being painted over, like literally being painted over and erased. So now here we are. Moving forward, there was a call for artists, and my name was kind of brought back into the fold, and I was asked to produce a design for that area. And I knew right then and there that I've admired Natiq's work for a long, long time, and I was like, oh my God, this would be amazing to work with Natiq. Like, collaborate on ideas, collaborate on vision, and put something together that would be something we could all be proud of, something that represents the neighborhood and residents of the neighborhood.
And I'm glad that you reached out to me. The project is proven to be challenging in both good and interesting ways, but still, the goal was for it to be iconic.
Right, absolutely. This work is incredibly important. Mm-hmm. I think it's, we started talking about working on a mural that will pay homage to women, particularly African-American women that live in that neighborhood, who are part of that neighborhood. A lot of times it's the women who are doing the work to try to keep the communities together and engaged. Right. And so to have a work of art that pays, a tribute to that, you don't really see that.
Right.
There's not a lot of works out there that are paying tribute to the women who are doing the work.
Right.
A lot of times it's invisible labor.
And so the person that we chose, Miss Cecilia Price Knight, she is iconic. And this was the person that I felt embodied the whole fight for East Liberty.
I've been in Pittsburgh for about 20 years. I'm from Jamaica, but I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and I've been in the United States since I was 7 years old. And as I was growing up and as I got in my 20s, and you start like, yes, I'm in America, I'm an immigrant, and I want to be a part of what it means to be an immigrant. So when I received the opportunity to run this business, this restaurant, I thought how wonderful this is. My husband, 3 children, and you're not exceptionally savvy. I'm the first to graduate high school in my immediate family, the first to graduate college in my immediate family, and it felt like a good accomplishment, but again, you don't know a whole lot, so you're learning as you go. And as you're learning, you're growing, you're trying to dream and grow, and to see that someone who is in a position, financial position, to be able to aid you to get to certain levels in life, to bring your family, bring the community, really wants to put their foot on your neck.
You know, so it's like it became just more than a restaurant. It was a home. It was love, because people were wondering, like, what is the difference? Because people say, I feel different. This one young lady, she was 26. She said, I feel different when I'm in your restaurant. And when she was leaving out, I said, you don't know, that's the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Because it's God. It's God. So, you know, we were there for quite some time. We enjoyed the various type of customers that came in, the love that we shared. The food really was excellent. And when I cook, and when I think about cooking, cleanliness is so important to me. I mean, someone's belly, your stomach, is like a temple. And I need to take care of that. And how I take care of me, my hands, how we cook, you know what I mean? Execute it that way. And also the love that passes all understanding.
And my customers were so awesome. We had a flood in 2015 in March. That flood devastated the whole of downstairs where there was no bathroom at all. How embarrassing it is for customers to come in, oh, you know, you can sit and eat, but there's no bathroom for you to use. He's not fixing the bathroom. Almost a year, there is no bathroom for my customers to use at all. But he wants 100% of the rent, and then he wants to raise the rent by $500 more. Then he's writing me some kind of memorandum that, oh, well, I'm gonna raise the rent to $2,000 or so or whatever. Can you handle that? What about the bathroom? You have not installed a bathroom. My customers, I had a customer, she's from Italy. Her family's from Italy. Mom, Dad, everyone is coming down. Cecilia, you want to make a reservation? I said, Bear, we have no bathroom for you guys to use. They came anyway, sat there for 3-4 hours, no bathroom. I felt this small. And I tell you, I kid you not, how should I say this? I'm a lover of people. Even though we were there to serve food, it was more than food, it was love. We were just so happy to see where we could have gone as a family.
We came up with a younger image, but still, you know, we included a power sign to represent the power that she exuded, and the way that the dichotomy, the whole dichotomy of gentrification and the erasure of black and brown bodies from neighborhoods as you know, new businesses and a new demographic moves in and violently pushes their way through. And so then we included butterflies. It was like, to me, the butterflies were the dreams that people were holding on to and that were escaping from them. It's like you're grasping, literally grasping for butterflies as people take away your business. They take away your ideas just to put up a facsimile of it in its place.
The landlord was more than capable of replacing it, and he should have replaced it. And all my customers said, don't give him any money. Don't give him not 1 cent. But me being a little fearful of not having the business and having something to keep going, functioning for the family, we kept paying it until about 8 months in, I stopped. And when I stopped, that's when he wanted to take us to the magistrate. So I said to my husband, guess what? This is too much of a circus, a monkey thing, whatever. Let's give the man back his place. I wish that this man, who's very rich, would have understood clearly what we were bringing to the table, what we were bringing to East Liberty, what we were bringing to Pittsburgh. Yeah. If he truly understood, he would have never tried to force us out. He came and sat. He came in our restaurant and said, oh, it's not me. He said, they're forcing me, they want me to, you know, because there was a time when they really wanted to leave, for us to leave. Not us, but African American, brown people, to leave. They really did. Because in East Liberty, you had people who were congregating who were African American, brown, all, you know, and they would sit, the men stand and talk. They weren't doing anything. Right. But they had the police on a daily basis forcing them away. Yep. And then when the Caucasian men and people would stand there and talk and have long conversation, no one did anything about it. Right. You know, so, and now after we left, the flavor left that street, the flavor left that community. It really did, because now right there, it's boring. Mm-hmm. It's quiet. Yeah. Come on now, when you see people trying to make it, and not only just as we're making it as a family, but we want to make it as a city, we want to make it as a community, help them to do that.
When people tell me, I want to get out of Pittsburgh, I don't like Pittsburgh, I'm like wondering why. I couldn't understand it. And just from being in that place of business, I understand why some people wanted to get away from Pittsburgh. A lot of them got away for many years, and some came back. And you wonder why they came back? A sense of family. This is where they were born, and they want to see something happen in this location. Now, you put a camera in on the back of the window in the backyard where my kitchen goes, but you can't fix my bathroom? I tell you, I told him, I said, with you, I said, I've gotten a glimpse of racism, what it means to be a slave, to be enslaved. However, that one man will not change my love for humanity.
I mean, I was fortunate enough to go to her restaurant before she closed, and I mean, it's just like we need places like, you know, like the place that she had, and to have a place that is such that was so ingrained in the community, that where it was more than just food, it was a place where people could come and talk, meet each other, share their experiences, have a great meal. You know, food was like food for nourishment, but also for the heart.
Get to know me and you'll understand better. You see what I'm saying? And I strongly believe that this city of Pittsburgh has a lot, because to me, I believe that it has the potential to be the next Atlanta, New York. It doesn't have to be on a big scale, but on a scale that's necessary to be inclusive.
Right.
Change is the only thing that's constant in life. Change is necessary here. Change is going to happen whether you choose to participate or not.
I felt like we got the essence of Miss Cecilia Price Knight. Yes, black women often do come off as superhero-esque, but they shouldn't have to.
I'm for change, and I'm for people growing together, not apart. I want to see Asian restaurants, I want to see Indian restaurants, culture. How could you know that there's not a Jamaican restaurant close anywhere and you still wanted to get rid of us? This man didn't want to give us a lease for the longest time, no lease. And I think all his tenants did not have a lease. And I kid you not, the people who have been impacted like myself and the people who are doing it, they're not going to prosper. It doesn't matter how much money you have. When your heart is black and dark like that, you will not prosper. And I still believe in Pittsburgh. I want to stay here in Pittsburgh with my family. I want to see Pittsburgh grow. I want to see us become a diverse community, because we can do it.
Cecilia is like freaking amazing to me. She, to me, just naturally embodied so many of the ideals that I feel have been largely lost. Because so much has happened to people that people have like given up, and she like never did. As she spoke, you knew that she was not gonna just go down silently, because she told the story. She like embodied the whole story of the takeover of East Liberty. She's brilliant, she was driven, she was trying to live the American dream, she was doing the right things, and they came for her. Flies in the face of, you know, most livable city, and all the slogans that they create to hide, you know, the underbelly of Pittsburgh.
I think she was like very powerful, and you know, she wanted to contribute to the city, and she did. I mean, the best that she could through her cooking, and how her cooking brought together people. It was more than just a restaurant. You know, she wanted to connect people and be like literally a part of the community. And like her drive needed to be supported, because she had so much to give. She had so much to offer. But to get pushed out because of people can charge higher rents or not have the capacity. I mean, like, so you have other restaurateurs. Like we all know in Pittsburgh, there's people who start restaurants, get crowdfunding, get support from the, you know, different organizations, and just kind of fall flat. You know, just abandon. You come into a neighborhood, cheap rent, you take over the space, basically colonize the space, and then after you, whatever, lose interest, then you move on. Like that's not. I don't understand how that behavior is like rewarded and supported time after time. I don't get that, you know? And like, here's a woman who's has a unique restaurant, has a unique craft, has a unique heritage, and it's a shame.
Not only did Miss Cecilia Price Knight have her fight, but there are so many other matriarchs who have also fought. And so the other aspect of it is that in her hair, in the clothing, in the air around her, we're going to be including the names of different matriarchs who live at the site that we're now putting the painting. Mm-hmm. And so we wanted to make this a very human painting. And I think that through these different things, we are going to definitely accomplish that.
Yes. Yeah. We actually put a call out for people to nominate the matriarch in their family.
Yes.
Or it doesn't even have to be necessarily family. Maybe it's somebody around you. Maybe it's a neighbor. Mm-hmm. Maybe
a mentor.
A mentor, yeah. So we did that call, and we've received quite a few names already that we're going to be painting right into that painting. Mm-hmm. So we want actual people who live and work and are taking care of others in that neighborhood to be a part of this wall.
Yes. We were in the process of trying to revamp our design because initially we were going to have a series of young women who did all of these different things in East Liberty, and we got a lot of pushback. But we wanted it to be about actual people, and it just felt right. It was like, as I was listening to you speak, I knew that you were going to be the subject of our mural. And I came up with this idea just based on the feeling that I got. And I put a power sign on your shirt. And I was just like, she has the power to change the world if they let her. Yeah. And so they saw the initial sketch, and they were just like, we like this. We like this a lot.
Oh, look at this beautiful lady.
Going up.
Oh, thank you. Wow. That's beautiful. I love everything. And I see the superhero thing around it still. I love it. The butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what the butterfly means, signify for you.
And so for me, the butterflies, they represent freedom. Nobody stops a butterfly, no one ever tells a butterfly that you can't land on this flower, and so for me, it represents freedom.
And a butterfly flies. Also, it also states what a butterfly was before the butterfly is.
Yes.
Right. What was it? The metamorphosis.
Yes.
From one stage to another.
Yes.
The butterflies, I think, are really important because for a butterfly to go from to migrate, from Mexico to all the way up to Canada and back. It's a small. They have small wings, right? But they can go across continents, right? And that is powerful. And also the butterflies, as they are doing that, it's not one butterfly that goes from one country across. It's generations.
Ooh.
So by the time the butterfly makes it from one country to the next, it's their grandchildren and the great-grandchildren of that butterfly that does the full migration.
Yes.
So the butterfly, right? Yeah. So the butterfly has that generational, we see it, but it's the same imprint through generations to get from one point to the next. And carrying that joy and hope, it takes generations. And we need just as much strength, hope, and love to be a force to counter all of the things that keep people down.
Whoa.
So this kind of stuff is as important as everything that's happening that's pulling people down. This is more important.
And I see this face, I said, but there's so much that I'm seeing. It stands for so much.
Yes.
And I must tell you that I'm so grateful and thankful that you guys chose me, consider me. I really don't know what to say. I'm truly humbled.
Her spirit definitely is being channeled into this artwork, and the whole, everything that's going around that talk, the same one that you saw, like everything in that is being channeled into here. So basically just trying to channel that for beauty, for inspiration, for, you know, monument, and for people for generations to come to, like, don't forget those stories. You know, I think it's really important that people have those stories to just kind of get a better vision of where we are.
Right.
But I'm going to be on my knees. I'm going to be praying for the city of Pittsburgh and for our family, for us to come together as one and to do what we need to do to be able to make this city the best city that it really possibly can be, because it can be that city. And for everyone who's still here, sitting here, that you don't even have to still be here, there's a reason why you're here. You're listening and you want to be a part of the change. Let's work together, please. We can do it.
The more that we have those types of interactions and experiences, the more we can get to learn and appreciate each other.
Meeting Cecilia yesterday was amazing. It was really like meeting family. It gave you that feeling like when you were a kid and you got to hear the previous generation talk about their experiences and stuff. And the way that she speaks literally takes you there. It was really an experience that I wouldn't trade for anything.
This whole project feels like a real gift, you know, especially, you know, it's such an honor to have the opportunity to use art to tell her story. It's an honor to work with you. It's an honor to be working in the capacity of making a work of art for the city.
Yes.
It's like, this is like a dream come true, you know?
It really is.
So it's humbling and it's exciting. And
it gives you that feeling of you're working towards something that's bigger than yourself.
right.
And I did realize that, and I told my children this, especially my son and these two, that the measure of your worth is not what's in your pocket. It's what's in your heart and your mind. And when you work at it, to exercise it, to do well, what's necessary for your pocket will come. Yeah. I've always taught them as well that I'm not grooming them to be citizens of Pittsburgh. I'm grooming them to be citizens of the world. That means wherever they go, they can sit at any table and know that they belong there. And if Pittsburgh could be the, how should I say, the one that chooses to show that a city like Pittsburgh can really open up and support and be the changer of this nation, and then it will impact and trickle over into the world to see what community looks like, to see what love looks like, to see what change really looks like. We really are one. In Jamaica, we have a motto. It says, out of many, one people. And out of many, we are one people. So that's what I would like to see for my community here at Pittsburgh, for the city of Pittsburgh, for my children. It's just about love. It's about God. It's about just living your best life. No matter how upside down this world seems, don't worry about that. Don't live in fear. Just keep moving forward. Once you're here and you're alive, there's work to be done. And it can and will be done. We can't let anyone stop us.
Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Allison Zapata. I want to welcome you to our August edition of the Not White Collective video podcast, in dialogue, candid conversations with not white artists and arts administrators from Pittsburgh and beyond. So today we have a very exciting guest. He is Natiq Jalil. Natiq is a visual artist who specializes in watercolor, acrylics, and mixed media. His favorite subject matter is human form coupled with symbolism in the form of stylized organic designs, technology, poetry, and physics equations. He takes on one-sided long-standing narratives and current events. even lays out his plans for the future in the form of Afrofuturism. His work is prized by many businesses, institutions, and private collectors all over the world. He's the founder of the colored section Black Artists Collective and is currently focused on group exhibitions with them, as well as solo work tackling themes such as honoring ancestors, changing social norms, and environmental activism. Natiq, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We're very honored to have you here. We're very, very excited, and it's, you've been in Pittsburgh for a long time. Well,
Hmm.
mm, relatively a long time, and
Yeah.
I personally have been a huge admirer of your work, and I know everyone in the collective is a huge fan of your work and the
Oh,
work that you
thank you.
do. So we are just thrilled and honored to have you be a part of this interview.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Mhm. Oh, of course, yeah. So how about we just jump in?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay. So, Natik, how do you identify?
As far as like my pronouns,
Yeah.
I guess that's a part of it.
Yeah.
Um, I guess we'll start there. He, him, his, John. Uh, that's a Philly thing, and but pretty much black. I call it, black and is African American, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I feel like any of those words are fine so long as it's said with power, said with love. I'm good with those. Yeah, is when people call me something else that we have an issue.
Right. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, who are your people, and where are you from?
So that is a long, long, long story that I don't even have all the answers to. Like a lot of us that are like me. But I know that I was born in Alabama, in Montgomery, Alabama. And my family that was there before me, they lived in New York. They lived in various different places down south. Um, my one of my grandfathers was from the Dominican Republic, and one of my great somethings was from somewhere in Africa that spoke French. That's all I know.
Wow.
We have no idea. We've been trying to track down where he was from, but he's the first documented person on my dad's side. Um, and so then we get to me. I was born in Alabama, stayed there until I was like 10, 11, 12, something. And then I moved to the Midwest. And then I started following my art career. That brought me to Pittsburgh, to New York City, to LA, and just everywhere that, wherever my art takes me. And I've been living here in Pittsburgh for probably 8, 9 years now. I don't know. It's been a while now.
Yeah. Do you feel like this is you put
You're
your
home now?
yeah,
Yeah.
you put your down
Yeah,
here?
this is home now. And I don't know at what point it started to feel like that, but it does. And so we'll just go with that feeling.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of different places that you've lived, and Pittsburgh has just captivated you for the past 8 years, and
Hmm.
we're happy. We're happy that you're here. That's for
Oh,
sure.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm. Has how has the intersection of race and gender impacted your career?
You could say to a certain degree, it almost has been my career. Um, Back when I first started trying to do my art as a career was in Denver, Colorado. And when I would go around and try to shop my portfolio, almost all of the galleries that I went to were white owned galleries, and they would tell me one of two things: either my art was too urban, which that's a loaded term,
Yeah.
and then they would just come right on and say we don't think it's black enough.
Wow.
Like, where's the pain?
Uh-huh.
You
Oh
know.
my gosh, yeah.
And
Yeah. Wow.
so it was interesting having other people who were not black try to quantify whether or not my artwork was black enough or too black to be in their galleries. And so I tried again once I was here in Pittsburgh. And it was interesting once I got here because it was more about my style than it was about the subject matter. And so long as I kind of left my work universal, if you will, and didn't have too many features, and it wasn't, because I have that style with, as you can see, like in the background, it can be really stylized, even though they're people. Um, so long as the features weren't too ethnic, everybody would buy it. But the
Mm.
moment that I started doing my work that was like, yeah, these are definitely black folks, you know, it became interesting. A lot of people were a bit more hesitant to just buy it. Some people they like the way it looked, they still like the style, but they would be like asking permission, like, "Am I allowed to buy that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can definitely give me your money." You know,
Right.
um, and it's been weird because starting out, because of the way that people acted weird when I would do work that was clearly of black people. Um, they they would ask questions that they would never ask someone else, like, "Why is it that you paint black people?" Like, "Why did Michelangelo paint white people?"
Right.
You
Right.
know, like, "Why did Picasso paint white people?" It's like I was asked questions. Nobody ever asked anybody that. Like when it's and
Right.
I think that it's it was just like one of those weird things. And so out from there, they would make their decision as to whether or not they would buy something, or feature me in their gallery or their show or whatever. And it was cool just as long as it was just pretty. But the moment you could see the features, it became an issue. And they would start asking weird questions. And so I decided from there that I can no longer just do pretty pictures.
Yes.
This is how it's going to be whenever you could see that the people look like me. I was just going to make it look like me, just in general. There was no
Mm.
going back from that point. I wanted my work to mean something, to be more than just a pretty picture. And so I
Mm-hmm.
started telling our story. I started trying to tell our story in a way that only an artist can. And so I haven't looked back since.
Wow. 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 Was this back in Denver when you had that realization, or?
No, this was actually here in Pittsburgh. I had my first successful show, which was Unfinished Business, where I intentionally didn't finish a single piece. And so it'll be incomplete faces. I wouldn't color them all in, and it was using all kinds of wild colors. And so people felt comfortable buying them because, even if it kind of looked like a black person, they could kind of convince themselves, like, well, he used orange and purple. So, that's like the blue people that they're always talking about, and
Yeah.
and so it was safe for the general public to buy the work.
Mm.
But the moment it started looking like that, like my background, it was just like, oh no, he looks, I've got a fear for my life. you know
Yeah.
it got real uncomfortable for him when it started to look like us. And
Right.
so the interesting thing about it, though, is that now that I've just chosen what I'm gonna do. Like I'm painting black people. I'm telling my own story. I'm telling the story of my people. I'm telling the story of marginalized people. I'm telling the story of intersections. Now, after years of doing this, and after starting the colored section and putting it out there, this is just what my art is gonna be now. Now people are starting to get comfortable once again
Mm.
buying my art the way that it is.
Mm.
It's been the
Mm.
weirdest journey. And so, to a certain degree, the race has been my career. because depending on where I was standing with it and the colors that I used in my work
Mm.
that determined the trajectory of my career the entire time.
Wow. And that is a realization that you've had to stick with your deepest soul, like that when they talk about like the artist journey and not quote unquote selling out, or like you really allowed your heart and soul in your experience to be the the driver, which
Hmm.
which is a hugely vulnerable position, like you put to put that all out there, that
Hmm.
that is a that's a beautiful thing, you know. And
Yes, yes, I think so.
yeah.
I think so because I've already, I feel like I no longer have to prove myself to people. Like everybody knows that I can paint anybody, and when I was starting out, that's what I wanted people to know is that I could paint anybody, I could paint anything. And so now people know I can paint anybody, and I choose to paint black people, to paint marginalized people. That became a choice, and so I wanted it to know that I don't paint what I have to, I paint what I want to.
That's empowering. That's the
Hmm.
power that you had to build up over your lifetime to
Hmm. Yep.
create that voice like that so strong.
Exactly.
That's really I'm gonna ask you about your how has your unique lived experience enhanced your work?
Oh, yeah. So one of the things that you'll often see in my work is the power symbol, right? And I write a lot of physics equations and stuff in my work. They're often hidden in there, and I put a lot of technology, in my work. It often features like smartphone screens, and like I'll sometimes put text messages coming down the side of my work and all kinds of different things. And it's because I'm from that last generation that saw all of it. We started out playing in the yard, getting, dirt all over ourselves. Then it transitioned into pagers. And then, it went into the first smartphones, the first cell phones, and then smartphones, computers, all of that stuff. And now we're in this age. And so the last time there was like the great masters, when the great masters were doing their work, it was during times of change. And their work featured the technology of their day.
Right.
And so I'm like, we got stuck somewhere. We felt like, we had to imitate the great masters. And so artists, to me, has been stuck for centuries, with their technology, with their symbolism, with their mythology, if you will.
Right.
And so I wanted to do the technology and the mythology of today and into the future. And to a certain degree, I'm taking my cues from them, but actually using the technology of our day. And so my lived experiences range from, all of the different things that I mentioned before. And so all of that stuff ends up in my work. It ends up in the backgrounds, it ends up in the main subject matter, and it ends up even in the words that I scribble onto the pieces. And so my lived experiences cannot be divorced from the work.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, you're right. Like we're like the end, like that analog to total digital, like
Hmm.
that's not going to happen again in time. Like we are
Right.
smack right on that line, which is like crazy, like of
Hmm.
all the time that's ever going to exist, like we are right here, right now.
Right. Right.
That's
Yeah, I'm probably the last generation that knows how to use the old phones where you had to, actually, turn the little dial. I remember those. Like that was from the previous generation, but I remember seeing them.
definitely. Definitely. Yeah, and there's so much like there's so much content of like that duality that you're truly one of the last generations to have that one leg here and one leg there, and to like put that
Hmm.
into art. That's a strong experience
Hmm.
all the way around.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's really cool. That's cool to hear you
Thank
say
you.
that. So what topic is most important to you now?
Ooh, so most important. Um, I feel like one of the most important focuses in my work right now is the fact that um, I want to make paths and let people know that Black people and in general people of color are not going anywhere. We are going to be here. We have been here. We are going to be here.
Hmm.
Those of us who are descendants of people who have been indigenous to places all over this planet are still going to be here. So being that my work is Afrofuturism, I feel like I'm telling a very specific story that in the near future, in the distant future, guess who you're gonna see? People that look just like me. They're gonna see people that look just like you. It's not gonna be this situation where it's just white people and aliens.
Right, right.
It's not gonna be like that. You know, it's not gonna be white people and Yoda. You're gonna see us. You know, and when we are in Starfleets and stuff like that in the distant future, we are not gonna be the diversity hires. It's not gonna be like that. I'm trying to tell the story that we are still gonna be here in the future. And it looks like my camera has frozen. Can you guys still see me?
I can see you. It's just it's just I can hear you. The camera's just frozen.
Right. Sorry about that.
Okay, I see it says same here. Okay. Well, we'll just continue and
Hmm.
and keep the boat sailing here.
Yes.
Um,
I'll put on my logo.
yeah, yeah, and maybe that'll come back.
There we go.
Give it a shot. All right.
How's that?
So what does in so turn it off. Maybe try turning it off and then turning it back on the camera.
Oh, it's saying that it cannot restart the camera. So it is malfunctioning over here. So I apologize for the technical difficulties.
Okay. Well, it's all good. We have you here. We're going to use our time with you, which is precious, and we're going to keep your genius mind sharing your information with us because I personally have had the pleasure and the honor to work with you, and I mean there was hours and hours and hours that we painted side by side, and I
Yes.
loved it. I loved talking to you. I love hearing you talk, and
Thank you.
really,
Likewise.
yeah, like you have an old soul, and
Mhm.
to hear you, to see your work is one thing, but to hear you um, share your experience is a treasure.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
Oh,
a true
thank you.
treasure. So I am truly excited, and I'm happy that other people get to hear you. I think it's
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
very cool. We need more of this, actually. Um, so give me 2 seconds. Da, 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 da. All right, let's talk about leadership.
Hmm.
You started the colored section here in Pittsburgh, which is an arts collective,
Yes.
and a very powerful one. And I believe it's newer, like within
Yes.
last year.
A little over a year old.
Okay. So with that leadership, what does inclusive leadership and gender equality look like um, through your eyes?
So when we were first dreaming of what the colored section would be, um, we talked about the different things that we wanted to tackle. And I made some promises then. And one of the promises I made was that there would never be an idea that was too far fetched. That being said, there's like every single intersection that you can think of in the colored section. When you open yourself up to that, and someone says, I want to do a story about this or exploring this side of myself, and you're like, we're going to do that. And you want to live by your promises. It creates some very interesting and unique opportunities for art to happen. And so um, I could not make that promise if I could not also make the promise that everybody's intersections are going to be respected and honored and upheld, and that anyone who stepped outside of that would no longer be a member. And so we um we want to tackle every single aspect of our lived experiences. And I want to model, I'm hoping that I can model what it's like to be a person who doesn't have to go through something in order to relate to it. You know, I don't have to experience homelessness to have the colored section do something that tackles homelessness. I don't have to um be I don't have to be anything other than who I am as a person who can experience empathy and sympathy and just be a human being to tackle any subject matter that my members want to tackle, because this is their lived experiences. I have mine, they have theirs, and I feel like they are all valid and they are all beautiful.
Mm.
And so one of the things that I really love to do is when one of my members first tells me about an idea that they have, I like to look them right in the eye, and I like to listen to their ideas and respond in the affirmative right from the jump, because I want them to get excited, and I want them to start talking fast to the point where their words are stumbling over each other,
Right.
because that type of excitement, that tells me what they really want to have in their exhibits. And through that excitement, it gets me excited, and it gets the other members excited. And so I'm hoping that I can be a model for the type of leadership that acknowledges their members' whole selves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people are like, well, we feel conflicted about covering this issue because this might alienate such and such. You know, but as human beings, how are we really alienating people unless we consciously do so? You know, um, and I'm gonna to not mince words. I'm not going to cater to bigots.
Mm.
And so most of the time when people have issues with something, it comes from the point of, this is going to make a bigot somewhere feel uncomfortable,
Yes.
whether it's someone who experiences homophobia, transphobia, anti-black racism and stuff like that. People that have their various different forms of xenophobia. We don't cater to those people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so if one of our members who wants to do a show about toxic masculinity, or tackling what it's like um, to be trans in the United States of America, if that's what my members want to do, I'm gonna jump right behind them. Let's do that.
Yes.
Who do you want to work with? What can I do to make sure that this show is successful? That's
Mm.
what I want to do. That's, to me, that's the type of leader that I want to be.
I think a lot of times, just even thinking in my own experiences, having something when we talked about being vulnerable, and if you have a topic that you feel that you put out there and it does make you feel vulnerable, you're like, how is this going to be received? And it can be intimidating at first, but
Right,
to have like somebody that is mentoring you, or kind of showing you the way because they have that experience, to have that positive reaffirmation, it can be life changing for people. You
right,
know, it literally can be a gateway to their own expression, and
right.
have that kind of support. That type of inclusive leadership as you're describing, I think is extremely profound.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And I just want them to feel empowered. I want them to be able to do art with their whole self.
Mm,
I want their next piece to be the best piece they ever did. You know, I want them to look at the piece they just did and just feel completely good about it. I want them to look at their pieces and completely see themselves. I don't want them to feel like I just did this piece and it's pretty, but I still feel a little bit empty. I feel a little hollow.
yeah.
I want them to be able to put every single part of themselves into it and feel good about it.
I
You
like how
know.
you said make the art with your whole self. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're, not partial, not segmented, but the whole self to put through
Mm-hmm.
art. I mean, that can move mountains when it comes to um, expression in art. And people who see that can see themselves in that too. You never
Yeah.
know who you're gonna reach.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And part of the reason it is like that is because I had to battle growing up with trying to put my whole self into my art. My parents weren't always supportive of me doing an art career. My dad wanted me to go into the military, you know, and my mom, she just wanted me to do anything that was guaranteed to give me a steady income, and none of them thought that art would take me anywhere,
Yeah.
and it's literally taking me all over the country and it's
Mm,
literally being sold all over the world. And so I want others to experience that freedom, that feeling of accomplishment that you can be yourself and being yourself can take you everywhere.
yeah. Yeah. And it's. I think a lot of times parents they just don't see the vision. And
Hmm.
that can hurt a lot of people
Yeah.
who want it. A lot
And
of
I mean,
kids.
yeah, and I get it. They're trying to protect you in their own way.
Hmm.
But there's, sometimes, and this is me being a parent who has raised a child now. Sometimes the best way to I found that one of the best ways to raise your child is to, you know, give them the tools that they need so that they can be themselves and be successful at that. It's not trying to give them a path that you feel is safe. It's walking that path with them and making sure that you clear out enough of the obstacles so that they don't completely hurt themselves along the way
Yeah.
until they can walk it on their own.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And that can make all the difference. I mean,
Yeah.
it really can. It's that's excellent leadership, really.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
so quick. I'm gonna move on to a different topic. How about when it comes to art and putting your art out there and people who want to acquire your work? Um, Let me ask you about boundaries. Do you have what is your how does your how can I explain this? Like what is your sensibilities as far as boundaries with what you will do, what you won't do? Who, who do you have people that you don't want to have your work or um,
Yes.
what's your
This is
boundary?
gonna make y'all laugh a little bit. My wife, she still laughs whenever she hears this, but I will refuse to sell art to a person if I know they're gonna try to put it in their bathroom. I don't do bathroom art.
uh,
That is a no. I do not want my art in bathrooms. It's just I don't know what it is about it, but
right.
if you say that you're gonna do, you can already have handed me your money. You're like, this is gonna look great in my bathroom. I will hand you your money right back and take my art back. It is not going into the bathroom. No, you are not flushing in front of my art.
There's the line. That is the
There's a
line.
line. There's a line. Don't cross that one.
So everybody
If
out
that's your plan, keep it to yourself.
there, keep it in here. So everybody out there that is interested in Natiq's artwork, do not put it
Put it
in
in
the
the
bathroom.
bathroom.
For
Mm-mm.
God's sake, never.
Yeah,
That's
you can put it outside of it, but don't put it in there.
right. That's good. That is good. That is a good boundary. Heck
Yes.
no. Ooh, definitely. Okay, moving on. What is your form of self care?
So, my self care routine is quite extensive now. It is. It takes me a while just to do like wash my face and all of that stuff. Like
Okay.
a lot of dudes don't do it. A lot of masculine people feel like they can neglect certain types of self care because they try to discount it as something other than masculine. But I think that it feels great to have clean pores, to
Mm.
have glowing skin,
Mm.
to have you know um, shiny beard hair. You know,
Yes.
I think that I think that it feels good, and I think that it feels good to smell good. And so I choose my colognes very carefully. You know, I even chose the brush that I brush my beard with very carefully. You know, to
Yes.
me, whenever I am going to do work, um, sorry about that. Whenever I'm going to do work, um, n- hold on, I don't know why people are trying to call me in the middle of an interview. I'm putting this on silent. I apologize, y'all. Um, and so, um, self care for me is also in the form too of I do ancestor veneration. And my old mentor, George Gist, I have in my studio, I have an altar, an ancestor altar that I put up of his work. And these days, before I start to paint, I have a drink with my mentor and allow him, to guide me in
Mm.
the beautiful work that he does. And I feel like he's still teaching. To me, that's a form of self-care. Self-care.
Yeah.
And it's in good food and good company and all of that. That's to me, all of those things are self-care, and all of those things will inform the type of work that you do.
Yes.
If I want people to feel good about my work, then I need to feel good about me as I'm doing it.
Yes.
And so I found that that's liberated my work a lot. I feel a
Mm.
lot more free. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like my work is cleaner, and it's more passionate, and it's just more when I
Mm-hmm.
go into the studio feeling good.
It's like
And
a
then
real
in that way,
transfer.
yeah. And then in that way, the art itself becomes an extension of the self-care.
Yes. Yes. I think that you've hit on a lot of points. I mean, I think with um, the rituals that you have and how you can channel the energy from your ancestors and the people who taught you painting, and just keeping that in your mindset um,
Hmm.
while you're working on it. It's you're putting yourself in that space, and and the work that you produce really, it does have that look, that clean, um, fresh, care. Like you can see that in the artwork that you create. Like it is truly um, beautiful. And I'm really inspired and happy to hear of your routine before you start painting. I think that's really good for
Yeah.
us to hear.
Next time you come by the studio, then I'll definitely have to show you.
Okay. Yes. I love it. Love it. Um, what is accessibility to you, and how do you implement that in your workplace?
Huh. So accessibility, I feel like it's not super hard. I feel like people make it a lot harder than it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all I feel like all it takes is to view the people that are sitting in front of you or standing in front of you or whatever. The people that are in front of you, view them as a human being. View them as just as human as you are. and accessibility
Mhm.
almost naturally happens.
Yes.
Because the moment that you feel that other people are as important as you are, you don't take them lightly, you don't just dismiss them, and their needs become important in
Mhm.
whatever form that takes.
Mm.
You start to think about their comfort. You start to think about what's important to them, what moves them, what makes things a little bit easier for them. And the funny thing about it is that when you do that for them, I've always found that it translates to just a better overall experience, even for yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like people make it way harder than it needs to be. Like you don't always need a committee meeting in order to discuss what you're going to do as far as making this accessible or making that accessible.
Yeah.
Is like, is that a human being? What do
Right.
they need in order to be here with us?
Right.
All right, let's do that.
Right.
It's usually it can be that simple.
Yeah. Really.
It's like I like that. That is a human being, and I want them to be in my presence, and I want to be in their presence, and so this is what I'll do. This is what we can do.
Yeah.
To me, is that's just that simple.
How nice would it be if everybody just had a bit of that as we move throughout the world? Just
Right,
a gentler approach, which is free. It's free.
right,
You
yes,
know?
exactly.
Gentler approach towards each other.
Right. Like
Um,
everything doesn't need a whole discussion in a PowerPoint and I don't want to bring an Excel into, I don't need spreadsheets to quantify a person as a human being who deserves, the same things that I have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are starting to wind down our interview here. I'm going to ask you one more question, and then
Hmm.
we're going to get ready to say our goodbyes and get ready for the next person.
Hmm.
Um, so we have a big question that we're all curious about with you. Tell
Yes.
us about your latest projects. What is coming down the pipe for you?
Oh man. So the future is looking amazing. The future is looking really, really amazing. And so I can't tell everybody everything right now, but I'll give y'all a little glimpse of what I can.
Okay.
So one of the upcoming shows is called Inner City Blues. And that one is tackling what I like to call classic blackness, timeless blackness. It's those things that um, when we think about them or we see them, it gives us a nostalgic feeling. It's the smell of soul food. It's the sound of a basketball on a basketball court. It's it's hip hop music. It's jazz. It's all of these different things that for us when we see them, it just gives us that nostalgic good feeling. And so I am actually challenging myself with this one to not just do faces and stuff. I'm actually stepping outside of my box a lot and doing a whole different type of body of work than what I usually do. And
Wow.
so I'm really excited about that
That's
one.
awesome.
The colored section is actually doing a show called Black Body Consciousness.
Okay.
That is kind of it kind of goes along with it, but it's different. It's about what it's like to live in black skin on a daily basis.
Hmm.
Because when we first wake up in the morning and we're brushing our teeth and we're eating our breakfast and all of that stuff, and we're choosing what clothes we're gonna wear, we're not thinking about the fact that we're black.
Mm.
You know, we're
Hmm.
not black as we're looking in the refrigerator and figuring out what we're gonna eat. It's when we leave our apartments and we get onto the elevator and then there's somebody clutching their purse in the corner. It's when we're walking out to our car and then we, out of the corner of our eye, we see someone remember to lock their door just
Mm.
because we're walking past.
Hmm.
You know, it's those things that remind us that, we are a black human being you know. And so this is dealing with what it's like living in our skin on a daily basis,
Wow.
and and it's not just going to deal with the moment that we realize that we're black. It's also about those moments before, when we're doing our hair, when we're brushing our teeth, and all of that stuff. It's about the things we love about it, the things that are painful about it. It's about the whole experience. And that one is excited because we're going to be doing barbershop and beauty shop artist talks. We're going to be setting up a barbershop and a beauty salon in the exhibit to do our artist talks from, because hair and stuff is a huge part of our who we are, and the world is still trying to police our hair.
Wow. Yes. Wow.
Yeah, so that's just a couple of things that are coming up in the near future that we're doing.
Wow. That is fantastic. That is very cool. And where will that be? Here in Pittsburgh?
Yes, it's going to be here in Pittsburgh. The Black Body Consciousness show will be at a TT gallery in Sharpsburg,
Mhm.
and the Inner City Blues show will be at the Oringer in Braddock.
Okay. Okay. And the Inner City Blues show will include different artists, or is that one just you again?
It's going to headline myself and Q Perry, but it will also have various different artists from around the city.
That's so cool. Very exciting, very inspirational, so insightful, and
Thank you.
just it's a real, like I said before, you're a treasure in this city. It's a real honor to hear all the things that make up the whole of Newtique. Just the tip of the iceberg here, but just to hear the how this all, the what makes you tick, and it is just it's a beautiful thing. And both you and Crystal here in the city, we I think it's a real, like I said, your Pittsburgh treasure. So
Oh, thank
not,
you.
yeah, yeah, and we got to try our best to make sure that you're you stay or not. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but
I think that this is going to be home base. Like, I feel like the colored section will probably end up being something that is nationwide, but nothing's going to take away the fact that it started here in Pittsburgh. And I
mm,
feel like the colored section is going to maintain its presence here in Pittsburgh.
yes. Well, it's we're more rich because of that effort. So
Absolutely.
so I want to thank you again so much for taking the time to be a part of this very meaningful series through the hashtag Not White Collective.
Hmm.
We have another interview starting at 7 um, with Victoria Snyder, and
Nice.
that will be with Liana Manise. And we're
Yes.
going to take a pause here so we can get ready for that next interview. But thank you, Natiq. We are very grateful for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Hmm. Thank you.
Okay, you recording?
Sound speed?
Thanks, bro. Okay, so at the beginning of this, I want you to clap once, then say your name. And go.
I'm Natiq Jalil.
Excellent. So why are you looking so dapper today, man? I like the hat and everything.
Oh, this because of my wife. She she told me that if I want to sell expensive things, I got to look and smell expensive. As you know, as an artist, that's the goal.
When do you feel most attractive and sexy?
When my wife tells me I am, is there's times when I just know, when I walk out of the room having just gotten dressed and she stops what she's doing and loses focus for a second. I feel good.
All right, describe your sexuality without using any labels.
Hmm. I like cake. I like cake and I like to eat it too. That's the best description I can come up with.
And that's the best one I've ever heard. Okay, great. All right. So, what's your ashiest memory?
My ashiest memory.
Both literally and philosophically.
Okay, so I'm dark skinned, as you can tell. And there's something about swimming pools and knees and ankles. There is one time in high school, it's probably why I don't know how to swim now. I was trying to take some swimming classes in high school. And on the first day of class, I was lotioned up before I got in. But I got out, and my knees and my ankles looked like I've been kicking around flour. It was not cool. I got clowned for like a week. It was just like, this dude looked like a powdered donut. So, yeah. So yeah, no more swimming for me. um,
And philosophically?
Philosophically, the ashiest memory is when someone I trusted, someone I looked up to even, um, went as far as trying to ruin my business just because they didn't like the fact that my wife and I speak the truth about some things that they do not like. And they had a chance to do something right and good, but decided that they wanted to try to bury us instead. And so the cool thing about that ashy memory is that I wasn't the one that was ashy, they were. And no amount of shea butter in this world is going to wash them of what they did. And I am going to be successful despite it. And I am going to gloat. And I'm going to post it up on the internet so that they can see it. And there's nothing they can do about it.
I'm a believer in that. Do me a favor, check the focus for a second, you don't mind. Just double check it. We'll just keep recording.
Oh, I good.
Okay, great. Okay, great, thanks.
Wait, did you want to see his eyes or no? Or does it matter?
He's wearing glasses though, so it's
Yeah.
it's fine.
That's cool. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm an artist, and
Yeah,
but you need to see my eyes.
Artists
for
are artists. All right, so tell me a story when you were. Okay. Ready?
I'm
Okay.
good. It's still going.
Okay, right. Tell me a story of when you were called out for being ashy. Hey. Shh. Okay, tell me a story of when you were called out for being ashy.
A story when I was called out for being ashy. All right, so in conversations about the way that the diaspora has spread around the earth, right? Is black people in America, we in a lot of ways are isolated. We're insulated from the things that happen in other places. And so, as I was talking about, in various discussions about the African American experience, there were some black Brits that had some issues with the fact that everything was so Americentric. And so, at the time, I didn't get what they were saying at all because, I was, I grew up with my experiences. I've seen some horrible things, having originally been born in the South and living in the Midwest and living in the East Coast and, doing work on the West Coast and stuff. I've been all over the country and seen racism at its worst. And I pretty much had the attitude in those conversations like, you can't tell me nothing. And they pretty much said that, we act a lot like the white people that, we're trying to call out all the time in our black Americentric view of things, which immediately I got defensive about at the time. And everything that I said, they flipped it around on me like, that sounds like when a white person says this. That sounds like when a white person says that. And at the time I was mad, but over time, I realized that, there's a whole diaspora out there with very unique experiences and a lot of parallels to ours. And so that's the one that I remember the most about being called out in my ashiness.
What challenges do you have when showing yourself love?
So it's hard to ask for things that we need. I often will take on more than I can handle trying to do things for other people, to the point where I get neglectful of my own needs. It's like one of those situations, since we're using the ashy metaphor, where you'll use the last bit of lotion on somebody else's ankles, and you got to walk around ashy yourself now. You know, um, showing yourself love is hard, because like I'm an artist, and for a long time I was afraid to ask for the money because I'm thinking about whether or not they can afford it. Is this going to cut into their bills? And I still got my own bills, and so I learned that even asking for the money, what my art is worth, is a form of self care. You know, in a lot of ways, it's easier now because my wife will tell me, um, you know that I need to look at what I'm doing. But for a long time, I could not tell when I was neglecting myself. You know.
So what does it look like when you're loving on yourself?
Now it looks like a whole facial routine. It's like um, now I got scrubs, I got clays, I got I got all kinds of different things that my wife taught me how to use. She pointed me in the right direction. And at first it was just like, what do I need this for? I got this, this 21-in-1 body wash that I can use, which of course makes you ashy. And I thought there was enough. But now it's like there's a routine, a daily routine of self-care that I go through, and I feel amazing. You know, I know when I smell good. I, you know, walk around with pride. I walk with my head up. Now I feel good.
Okay, describe the best orgasm you ever had.
Man, I don't know whether I mentioned, but I like cake. And I like to eat it too. It is something about when a woman is screaming to high heaven that takes me right there with her. And one time my wife hit this falsetto that was just like pristine. And I swear to God, I sprayed the whole room like enemy fire.
Perfect. Perfect. I'll be blocking your mom from all social media. All right. So what do you know about your ancestry?
So mine is like broken up. Like my family is in Alabama for the most part. That's like where the root of my family is. And for a while, I thought that was all there was. Some of us eventually got away from there, and I hate Alabama. But come to find out that on my grandfather's side, it appears that he was like an oil black Dominican, you know. And on my dad, he ran into a person when he was doing some work in New York City. And so an older man confused him with someone who was apparently one of his ancestors, one of my ancestors. He was telling my dad that his grandfather, whose last name was Dubois, which that was my dad's family. he fought with them in France in the military, and that this person was fluent French, and so somewhere there's an ancestor from that way, you know. But names, don't know. Faces, don't know. Um, all I know is, I briefly met my oil black grandfather before he passed, and that was it.
What's the best advice you ever received from parents, teacher, elder, mentor, anybody?
So I have a mentor. Um, that his name is Hashem Malik Bey. He was my first mentor, and he told me that every black man should strive to be upright, independent, and fearless. And three simple words, three simple goals that are the hardest goals I've ever had to try to reach. But I feel like that's the best advice that I've ever had. It allowed me to pursue my art in the way that I do. It defined the kind of man that I decided to be. It is something that I work on daily to this day. He told me this almost 20 years ago.
And what the 3 words again?
To be upright, independent, and fearless.
All right, great. Okay, and tell me about the best teacher you ever had.
The best teacher is probably my mentor that just passed, Mr. George Gist. He looked at my art and said that I was going to be the best that ever was. And I'm looking at his work like, you're the best that there ever is, And he said, he was like, you ain't got to take none of my advice if you don't want, but let me show you some things. And he looked at my work and he broke down the faces for me. And he said, if you do this and if you do that and if you do this, this will take your work to the next level. But at the same time, your work is amazing and you don't have to listen to anything that I said if you don't want to. Which made it really easy to try everything that he suggested. And lo and behold, my work went to next levels. It didn't go to the next level, it went up exponentially. And he never forced a single one of his teachings on me. He just looked at my work and was just like, you're dope. And this is what you can do to make it even doper if you want to. And I think that's amazing. There was no ego.
Who's the worst teacher you ever had?
All right. So, high school, senior year, humanities class. There's this lady. She's teaching humanities and she was a Holocaust denier. Had a really, really heavy German accent. She claimed that she lived through the time period that everything happened in Germany and stuff like that. And because she wasn't affected, it didn't happen. And so she regularly would say things like, the minorities in this country to us black high school teachers. She was teaching at a black high school in Denver. And had nothing good to say about any of us. She hated her students. I think she hated being a teacher. I think she hated life. She was like evil Miss Piggy. And everything sucked. Like nobody wanted to go to her class. It sucked the life right out of you, and I just barely passed it. Mind you, by my senior year, I was getting like straight A's. and I just barely passed her class because I so hated being in there with her. I hated walking the same hallway as her. She sucked.
Any final words for her?
Rest in peace. Whenever that happens for you.
What will reparations look like today? I mean, I'm sorry. What could reparations look like today? Sorry.
What could reparations look like today? It could look like I don't have to pay for school. It could look like my business ideas get, the support that they need. It could look like we get what we're owed for the 40 acres and a mule that we never got in payments, like monthly. It also could look like, programs are implemented so that white people can check themselves. And it could also look like equity for the first time. This equality thing that they're pushing just ain't enough anymore. And so I'm looking at programs that will push equity. I think that that's what reparations would look like.
Very good. And what would it take for you to vote for Trump?
There's no way in hell. There's nothing that could be done. You couldn't drag me to vote for him. You could not, like, if Jesus guided my hand, it still would not happen.
Because I guess leading the devil. Like, shoot. All right. So, what exactly are white people superior at?
They're superior or something? What? Nah, don't get it twisted. I mean, if the goal is to be mediocre as hell and never have seasoned food again, then there you go. How are you going to start whole spice wars and don't even use seasoning on your food? I mean, come on. No, they ain't superior at nothing.
You just give me a headache. All right. All right. Who is Karen?
You just took the smile right off my face. Karen is that person who needs to mind her own goddamn business. Karen is a person who takes his mediocrity thing so serious that she has to jump in the way of anyone that she thinks could exceed at anything in life. She just hates. She's like the winner of the Player Haters Ball 30 years running. She's like all of the unwashed mass is compressed into one ball of blonde nastiness. She's like dirty. Like, go wash your ass. That's Karen. Her hair stinks.
Have you had a Karen moment lately?
Oh, Karen moments happen on a regular basis. And, yeah, they're all the same. They all want to call the manager. They all want a supervisor. They all act like I need to cross the street while they walking straight. Nah. I ain't got the time or energy for that.
All right, so if you could reach into the heart of every black person in America, what would be your message? What needs to be said most? What needs to be heard?
Black people, the message that you need to hear is you are worth everything that our ancestors went through and more. It's a responsibility, though. We are the first. Science proves it. History proves it. And we will be the last. We have survived everything, and we will continue to survive. And we have to hold on and do everything that we can to empower ourselves. That needs to be a mission. It needs to be a daily goal, something that we work at constantly, because it's only by making it in the ways that we define as making it that we get our revenge for all of the things that have been taken from us and kept from us, and that's when it's going to be the sweetest.
Yeah, I'm gonna have one more question in a second. Take this shit. Hold on a second. Come on, stupid phone. God, I hate this fucking phone. Okay, final question. What's something you used to believe about yourself that you no longer believe?
In a lot of ways, I used to think that I was invincible, and that I would always have the energy to take over the world. And it's not that I no longer believe that I can take over the world. It's that I no longer believe that I have the energy that I thought I would. I feel like I need to use my time better now in order to take over the world. The goal is still to take over the world.
I think exactly the same way. I think that's why we get along, brother. All right, that's a wrap. We're done with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, dude, but you about killed me like a minute ago. I know you.
All right, so they're getting ready to put up another panel for the mural. So I'm gonna let y'all take a look.
Hey, let me see your transfer. Oh no, I got you. Transfer. I'm trying to figure out what the
Piece by piece, it's coming together.
I'll be right back.
This is so wild. We worked on this for such a long time. And so seeing it being installed is like wild. It's really wild. This is kind of a new process for us, doing a mural in pieces like this and having it installed. And so it kind of felt like we were, inventing the process as we went. And so it's amazing to see it come together and be seamless in the end. Oh, this is so crazy. Okay, so the last panel is being installed right now. So I'm gonna let y'all see. Switch this around. And zoom in so that you can see. This is pretty exciting. The last piece is going into place.
come right here.
This is so amazing. And then over here we have the inspiration for the piece, Miss Cecilia Price Knight and her family.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna cry.
It's
Look at you.
amazing. This is so amazing to see it coming together. And then have the inspiration for the work right here. Is being captured by the amazing Chris Ivy that work here. Thanks, Darren. I appreciate that.
It's nice to see you.
So the final dimensions come to 12 feet by 16 feet. Pretty happy with this. So amazing. So this is like surreal. Watching this go up. We worked on this for so long.
Mind you, Natiq.
Sorry.
Oh, excuse me. This is so amazing. So Alice and I, we've been really working hard on this. We've probably clocked over 90 hours all together on this. And so seeing it come together after all of these years of negotiating and then months and months of actual painting, yes. It feels so good. And so, what we're waiting for is for the moment that the lift comes down and we're able to see it all together. Real clear. And then we might jump up on the lift and do a couple of little touch-up things. And so that might be fun. I'm a little bit afraid of heights, but you know, I think it'll still be fun.
It takes time. I have not forgotten it. What month is this? April?
This is wild.
I don't know. Why don't I don't think it's my lipstick, but it gotta be mine that's on your lip because I think you couldn't
This
pick
is
this up.
Celia Price Night.
Yes, I recall that stuff is matching. See? Yeah. Viva la Mexico!
Hold on one second. There they are. Good. Get a look at this.
Yeah, you can see them all together there.
God is great. He is. Be still. You do?
This is really a great moment to have the real inspiration for this, like right here, watching it be completed here. It's so amazing. Heard her say, I still believe, it just kind of solidified that I wanted to do this mural of her. And so she's with Allison right now speaking about her concept of still believing throughout the hardships, and it's inspiring to hear her speak. So dope. Let's see if I can get us a little closer to it. There we go.
Is that a fact or something that you think that is opinion? Okay.
I can find out.
You know what?
I will find out.
Frame print of this in my room. I love black art, so frame print.
Yeah, we can work on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's something that we can do. Oh, this looks amazing.
You know they can see on the other side, right? Yeah.
Are they moving? Oh, they're going further up to, I guess they're securing the other side of the last panel. Oh, this is so crazy.
All right, guys, back to the building. Look at the building.
This is so crazy.
Yeah, but you'll get like interference because of everything. When I sit up right here. Believe me.
I've never done a mural using this particular method before, so this is like really exciting to see it come together successfully in the end. So this just feels good on a whole bunch of different levels. So what you're seeing here is 6 different panels that we painted individually come together to make one large mural. Each one of the panels is 8 feet by 4 feet. And so the total dimensions in the end is 12 feet wide by 16 feet tall. And so this is actually our first time seeing it all together, because we literally just worked on them in pieces.
What's up?
Yeah. This is wild. Oh, are they moving? Okay. Is this the big reveal? Let's see. I'm almost scared to see it all together. They're keeping us in suspense.
Hey, quality assurance.
Yes. That's the most important thing. Make sure that it lasts.
Hey.
And then to see Miss Cecilia be able to look up at it as the final piece is put in place. This just means the world. So amazing. This is like one of them moments where I feel really, really glad that I chose to become an artist. Like, despite all of the setbacks and everything, I chose to become an artist regardless. And this is one of them moments that I feel like this is definitely the right decision that I made. Now look at that. Whoa. Yo. This is dope. Wow, this is our first time seeing it all together. Oh my gosh.
There we go. Look content.
Oh my gosh.
No, don't smile.
Wow.
There we go.
This is so cool seeing this all together.
Don't smile though. Don't.
I still believe it. Those were the words of this woman here, Miss Cecilia Price Knight, who inspired this whole thing here.
All right, Lucas, just swing around the front.
So
Swing
happy
around the
with
front.
this. So happy with this. Kind of emotional. This vlog.
Son, Natiq, I'm okay with going up and doing little touch-ups on the bolts. Do you want to jump
Yes. Yeah, I think I'll jump up for a second.
up? Okay.
We're gonna go up and do some touch-up work on this in a second.
Real quick.
And so,
Real quick.
you know,
So you going to do the drone shot first and just get it over with, or?
Or whatever you want to do.
Well,
'Cause they could even drone it while we're up there painting if you want.
no, I like it just about to put out, just to film it.
and so Alice and I, we're gonna jump up on the lift in just a second and do some touch-up work on it, and then this is gonna be complete.
Yeah.
So. You see, Cecilia Price Knight is two of their family, and
All right, I'll get the colors ready.
so being able to be here with her is amazing. And so this is right across the street from the Duolingo building. Crossing the street in Pittsburgh. Wow. Wow. And so we're about to jump up on the lift. Do some fine tuning. Should be fun. Oh, my nose is all dry. So we're about to get up here and do my favorite part, which is heights. I say that very loosely. I'm afraid of heights. But yeah, we're about to jump up on the machine. The main part, most important part, is right here. Seeing their family come together surrounding this. So the support that they've given us for this mural has been amazing. It's so dope. And then we get to watch the amazing Chris Ivy do his thing. All right, so what do we need to do?
So we gotta get harness on.
Okay, yeah, fine. I love this because I'm afraid of heights. But, you know, it's what we do.
Yeah, why don't you go? Do you mind? This way we could just zip it in and out. I don't know how to put this one out.
These are shoulder pieces.
Like that?
So a lot of people think the artists don't work. We have to do like crazy stuff in order to bring this art to y'all. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah. Uh-oh. So it's my turn.
Yep. This might be a little tight on you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm kind of a...
Short around.
All right, so there. All right, so. All right, we're getting harnessed up. About to go up into the air.
Yeah, just reach around, grab those, and
Where?
you want to clip in the chest
Here?
first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you hold this one?
Yep.
Thanks. All right. So is this part here?
Yep. Just click it in. Good.
Then legs.
Go around the legs.
Right here?
Nope. It's right
This
here.
one.
Fire pocket right there.
Okay.
It's adjustable if you need to adjust it.
There's another one.
Yep.
Is it
Right there.
this one?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
Is it too tight?
Maybe a little bit. Right here.
Yeah, it just clicks in here.
Allison did this a lot more gracefully. Alright, I think I'm good now.
There you go.
Alright. Alright.
Push it back like that and click it on there.
Okay. Thank you. Alright, so
You just got to link into that right there. So I think, do you pull this part up or?
okay. Alright.
Guys all set?
Yep. Alright, we're going up now.
Yeah, I would hang on.
Okay.
Just kind of like rock back and forth.
Okay. Yeah, that's the part that freaks me out.
Jess.
So we're going up.
Jess.
Whoa.
Jesse. Yo. Watch for traffic for me.
Whoa. We're going up. This is wild. Whoa. I will never get used to this feeling. It's very weird. This is very, very, very weird. Oh, Jesus. This is crazy. But we're almost there. Oh, Jesus. This would not be the job for me. Not doing this every day. And the wind is blowing. This is wild. And my legs are shaking like a leaf. I'm not showing you that on film. This is like way high. Yeah. If I was a superhero, flying would not be my thing. This feels weird. Feels like I'm flying and I don't like it. Woo. Jesus Christ. Ooh.
Yep, I'm just trying to get it so
Oh, Jesus. Hi. There, whoa, Jesus. Yeah, hey. Yeah, they're waving. I can't wave back because I have a death grip on this cage here. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Wait, the orange? No, I'm good. Because we're gonna have to mix the orange. I'll let you mix it because I'm scared. Somebody's saying be brave. I'm over here just like, I don't know. I'm up here now. Ooh. This is wild. And so I'm gonna let you see Allison do this because she's a lot braver than I am. This is wild.
Yeah, it is.
This is definitely wild. I'll do the white part afterwards. Okay. I'll let you do the orange and I'll do the white.
That's it.
Maybe it get easier once I start painting.
Okay.
You know, people just focus on what's in front of you.
Yeah, I think I'll have to. Okay. Yeah, I kind of forget that the ground's moving under me. Woo. If y'all could see this death grip that I have on the side of this cage here. This is wild. So I have a lot of respect for what y'all do because y'all kept a steady hand to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Way up here.
Yeah.
I could not. But now y'all can kind of get a look at what this looks like up close. This is the closest that anybody is going to be to this probably in a very long time.
Very long time.
How long is it okay to stay up?
Until whenever, I guess.
No, I wasn't sure, like, because of how challenging it was.
Right.
Sometimes I know they give you a certain period
Yeah.
of time, like 6 months or a year.
Yeah. We have no idea how long it'll be up. Hopefully it's long term. And so the names that you see in the hair, these are different matriarchs through the of the people that live in the building here. And so we had them list the people that hold their families together. And they gave them to us, and we put them all over because that's sometimes a thankless job to be the matriarch. And so, yeah.
It's a little bit more red.
Yeah. Just a touch. So y'all can kind of get a feel for how far up we are. This is wild. They say don't look down. There's down. I got it over with. You know, you got to do it. You know, people say don't look down, and your first instinct is to look down. You know, you can regret it later. That's a pretty close match because it. One of the interesting things about acrylics, here's art class, y'all. One of the interesting things about acrylic is that you'll put it down one color, but it dries a touch darker than what it is that you put it down. And she over here dancing. She wilding. I would never dance on a lift. It's like all of my effort right now is in talking to y'all and not crying. Woo. Yeah. This is one of them wild situations. Like, wow, I'm up here. But I gotta let y'all see this scenery though that I see from up here. Look at this. This is kind of dope. There's some things that you can only see from the lift. And so that part is kind of dope. So now that I've shown you that, I'm gonna get my desk grip back on the machine here.
I just did is I'm gonna have to go back and wash the brush out. No, I can't put white on here.
Oh, that's fine. We'll work it out. Maybe I use my fingers.
That'll give it a little bit of time to dry before we can go in and get the edges right here, white.
I mean, we could do finger painting in the sky.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I could wipe it off on my pants because, you know, these are the paint pants. And so we often use our clothes as as palettes and stuff like that. You just kind of get your designated art clothes and, you know.
What sort of painter are you if you ain't got clothes covered in paint?
Right, exactly. And so we might be able to do that, and then that way we can just go in and do the white.
I don't know. I just thought about doing the signature, so I didn't really think about the second bringing any other brushes for this stuff.
No, that's fine.
Who are all the other signatures?
So these are the matriarchs that live in the building, the matriarchs of the people who live in the building, and some of our own personal matriarchs too.
Just add a little bit of extra just to make sure it's nice and
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Boom.
Yeah, that's nice.
Here. It's a little.
That works.
Okay, and now we just got. Mine is being over just a little. Just a baby touch. Baby touch.
Precision work is being done here, folks.
Baby touch. More color right there. Nice and thick.
And I know I sound comfortable. I'm still scared out of my mind. Just so, lest you all forget.
Well, how about we just go
so-
down and just wash it? It'll take
Oh, you
minutes.
sure?
Oh yeah.
All right.
This one we don't do this. You know,
All right, and then I'll film you from the ground because they ain't coming back up once we go down. Okay, so let me get my death grip again. Okay, so we're about to go back down. So, ooh, Jesus. Okay, we're moving again. Whoa. They say it's not the fall, it's the sudden stop. So you guys get a perspective that not everybody's gonna get, which is being up on the lift with the artist. And today I was just here for moral support. Yeah. She did. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be back on the ground. Woo. Okay. There we go. All right. I'm gonna give you this back. I've never been so happy to give somebody back an item of clothing.
First and last time.
No, I do this. It's just,
you just
it's always.
just squeeze these.
Okay. These here? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, nice. I figured it out with much help. Thanks, Janine. I needed that. I'll take all the moral support I can get. All right. Thank you for letting me borrow the safety equipment. I needed the safety. And so, from the ground, I'm going to film the rest and let you see Allison finish up the last touches of this. And yeah, I think I've had all the adventure that I can handle. This is crazy. Being up there is crazy.
About 100 feet up?
Yeah, I did not enjoy that. I did not enjoy that in the least. I enjoyed the view when I was, when I managed to look around. Yeah. But it's like the more I looked around, the more I realized how far up in the air I was. And so, all right. So I'll let you guys see again. So that's where we were. And so that kind of puts it into perspective how big this piece was. You saw how it looked on the camera when we were up close. And this is how it looks from the street. So, yeah. And so we're just going to be, she's going to be adding some white to that one area that we're working on, and it's complete. My heart is still racing. I'm on the ground, but my soul's still up there. Oh, man. I'm so proud of this piece, though. Wow. And so for those of y'all who have been watching, I appreciate you guys' support. It definitely means a lot. Ah.
You could actually sign that. It'd be
Yes.
worth something.
So I'm gonna be taking this. I'm gonna show y'all what they just gave me. This is the cutout piece from the mural that we're currently filling in the space for over there. So I think I'm going to keep this and do something with this. Yeah, that's kind of dope. I can take this home. Nice. Maybe I'll turn this into his own piece of art too. Yes, I see that. That's like, y'all did that. Nice. Yeah, I think this will be my memento from this.
Okay, one last part.
One last point. Yeah. Yeah, you'll do it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it does. It really looks good from here.
So it's orange on the outside, it's orange on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do the white edges.
Yep.
Send it
I love how she says we. Like, I'm here for moral support today. Like, I'm the narrator for this movie. The gold leaf, though, is shining. This gold leaf is shining.
Oh, that's a whole different thing. That's
I think that I'm gonna use gold leaf in my murals like more regularly now.
it looks. I'm gonna get that last corner, that orange, and then do the white, and we'll be done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right. And so this time I won't feel traumatized. There's one thing watching somebody else do it. Oh, are you driving this time? Oh, no, she's not driving this time. Like a nuts. Here they go. What's wild is that it looks so fluid. The motion looks so fluid when you're watching somebody else go up. But when you're on it, though, you're shaking like crazy. The wind, you feel every wind, every time the wind blows. This is wild. I'll zoom in here for you guys. There we go. I'll see if I can zoom. Kick me out eventually. It's just like, all right, so we're live one last time. As Allison Zapata is up there doing the final adjustments to the mural. I braved it once. We came back down. That's my last time going back up today. I'm not cut out for that life.
Not cut out for that high life.
Yeah. So I'm trying to zoom in as much as I can for y'all. See her up there making the final adjustments. Some people are naturals for this. I, however, am not one of those people.
What's the highest you've been up in one of those? Yeah, yeah.
We did a grad trip in West Virginia.
Yeah.
WVU. It was a big old system. I think it was big old project.
All right, try to be a little bit more steady for you guys. It's a little bit cold. Hands are kind of cold, so I apologize for moving around so much. This is wild, y'all. It's like literally the final touches are being put on this right now. So wild. Oh, thanks, baby. So I'm gonna film this for as long as I can. Like my camera is less like. Apparently my phone got scared while I was up there too. Like its battery just drained out of it. So I'll film this for as long as I can for y'all. So we'll zoom out one more time just so that y'all can kind of see the whole thing real fast. Yeah. All right then, Will. Yeah, we did that. Feeling really good about it too. Once again, it was really, really amazing to be able to share the moment with Miss Cecilia Price Knight, who inspired this piece. I ain't crying, I'm just like sniffly because it's cold. I'm for real, I ain't crying. This is like, yo, this is like so surreal to have a project that you worked on for so long finally come to fruition, and to see it being completed in such a fashion. It's like we've literally been in the process of doing this for years, and so this is a lot of work that's coming to a head here, and we're finally putting the final brushstrokes on a project that was like took so long, and like a lot of emotions and a lot of resources and just a lot went into this piece. Yeah, that looks amazing. All right, so here's a big reveal. Nope, I thought it was. Looks like there's one more thing. Oh, I see it. She's making sure that the circle is completely circular. So, precision work is happening here, y'all. All right, here we go. This is the first look. This is the first look of this mural being completely done. So this is only going to happen once. To literally be the first people to see this. Yes, there it is. The first full look of this piece being completely done. Get me right in the feels. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. This is wild. This is like so surreal. And so, for those who want to, on Wednesday the 6th, we'll be having the public unveiling for this. So if you want to come down and talk with us about it and hang out with us and see the amazing cake that we're gonna have, that's gonna have the power sign on it and the butterflies and all of that stuff. Come and hang out with us on the 6th, right here, on the corner of Penn and whatever street that is. Let's see if I can get that. It's blurry, but it's over across from the Duolingo building. And hang out with us, 5:30 on Wednesday. Y'all, we are done with this. It looks, we're done with this, and I feel amazing. I feel accomplished. Like, sticking with a project no matter how hard, and then seeing it come to fruition makes me feel good. I chose to actually pursue art. Like, this lets me know that becoming an artist was the right decision for me. This is dope. This is dope. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go somewhere and cry in a corner for real, and I will see you guys on the next project. All right. Thanks for supporting us. Peace.